What's up everyone, it's Boris, new video, and today I'm going to talk about countries in my Eurovision after which weren't that successful at Eurovision 2023. The countries who did not reach the finals. Let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you're here. I'm saying it all the time, but I'm really glad that you're interested in those videos completely off season and that you are still taking care about what other people think, especially me. And maybe you'll find relevant, maybe you find it irrelevant, but there's a discussion in the comments below. Let's talk about it because I want to know all your opinions about all those songs I'm talking about, all those stagings, anything else what appears in your mind. It can be discutable because basically, even I'm a professional television producer, my points are subjective. How would I do it? How I see, where's the problem? I'm just looking at it completely different different point of view, but it doesn't mean it's a right point of view. It's just my own observation, which you can or you cannot or you couldn't agree with, and that's okay. Also, you can give thumbs up to this video, you know, but also you can subscribe to the channel if you like. And today I will be going to talk about 5 countries, as I said already, and those countries will be Ireland, Romania, Netherlands, San Marino and Greece. I will go one by one. You can jump into your favorite country, you can do whatever you want. I will try to compress the information as much as possible. So let's start with the first country, shall we? Alright, the first country I would like to talk is San Marino. It's the smallest country, struggle with the results most of the time, and honestly I think it's for them it's very hard to find a great artist, great music, also do a good staging, and I also think they kind of struggle because they're changing how they approach it all the time, and I don't see like the straight way, you know, some vision which way they would like to go. We saw last year how it was with the national selection, kind of weird. This year I don't actually even know, but they had some kind of national selection also. Years before they didn't, blah blah blah. It's, you know, unpredictable, and also I can't understand. It's small country, small television. They don't have big domestic market. They have to watch outside of their small tiny state country and search for possibilities. But maybe if they go some other way, that would be maybe even more successful, because also what problem it is, because they're kind of small, it's maybe also an advantage because they can basically go anywhere they want. Maybe only thing is if they can afford and what they can afford, because you must also know that everything is also about money. It's not just prestige. You know, Eurovision is about a lot of time investment, and you know, not everybody can afford to spend such much time, especially for a country like San Marino with not a really good record. And this year is the continuation. And I would say this because I don't want to say negative things too much about San Marino. First of all, because I don't believe they deserve it. And second of all, I believe they kind of did a nice job, especially in the way of staging. In my opinion, their staging was absolutely great. It was point out with colors, with the depth. It worked with the editing. One of the, I don't want to say one of the best staging, but kinda it was one of the best staging of the approach of the stage. Approaching the stage with picket jacks and this complicated, not complicated song, but complicated staging. You have all band on it, on set. They find a way how to stretch up the stage a bit. They found a way how to edit much more faster than most of the countries. The camera work was kind of very good in compared to so many others. The color palette they used, the switch of the graphics they used, no cliches basically were done. It was very clean, very chic. The only problem, and the biggest problem, was the song, in my opinion. It just wasn't the song for 2023 Eurovision, maybe not even any other in the way of quality of the genre. It wasn't the best song at all. Even the band and also the frontman of the band, they made a good work. It was also clean, maybe a bit cringy sometimes, but that's just the personal taste, you know. But on the other hand, the package, if I just count of the song itself, which is the most important, was working. But the song itself wasn't relevant for nowadays and maybe in a genre ever. It was too simplistic in a way, and that was the reason why they end up where they end up, and especially where only public was voting, because I can believe when juries are voting for such song, they would put some votes, because from professional point of view, how it was performed, it was very well performed, so they would at least receive more points from this part. But you know, public vote, this was the only option, and this is not made for such songs. Sorry. Next country. Romania. Come on, I'm living in here, so I really hope that no one will kill me on the street or something. If you will find me out on the streets, I'm sorry, but we can have a chat also about Eurovision. I would be very, very glad about your opinions, because mine is very clear. And this is when you want to please everybody, after all, you won't please anyone. And that was basically my problem with Theodor's Andrei song, Dežete. Because as a song, as an artist, when he performed it in the national selection, I was like, okay, maybe not the best song, it doesn't speak the common language, it doesn't matter that this such song is bad or, you know, couldn't work. But it didn't even musically talk very common language, so it was very specific in some point. But what I must say in positive way, that Theodor Andrei has a very beautiful voice and he can sell it. He's a performer, he can perform, and he's not afraid of performing. So what happened at Eurovision? Why they didn't succeed? Okay, the song is not for everyone. All right, I can take it. But my biggest issue with this song was the staging. It was the flow. How many ideas were present on stage? How many? It was we have a say from a kid's book which is called Pejsek a kočička, basically a dog and a cat. There is a sketch when they are making a cake together, and you know, they put everything good into the cake, but everything. And after all, it wasn't used to be eaten. It couldn't be eaten. It was basically poisonous at some point. It just wasn't good. And that was the staging of the song, when all the power of the song went from the very simplistic staging, like in the little tiny club, almost busking, and then you go to the bigger song arena where you use all the LED tricks with the flames, lava, the rocks. It made no sense, especially when no one understands what is this song about. Also with the dress, which didn't fit the staging, anything. It was so overcomplicated that I was just watching it like, what the hell, what's coming next? And next, at the end, the dancer came and did something. It was ununderstandable. It was like, let's do some steps and shock and every single point, but I'm not sure that in 2023 television this is relevant, because it was ununderstandable for public, in my opinion, at all, and this didn't really help anything. So in my opinion, if I can choose the staging which was the worst basically of 2023 Eurovision, I would go for Romania 100%. Sorry for that, sorry for this honesty, but it just wasn't it. It wasn't it at all. It wasn't 2023 staging in general. It was everything wrong every single time. Even the performance from Theodor Andrei, it wasn't bad, especially because he can really sing. But there are no juries. There are no juries in the semi-final. So you cannot count on-site skill too much. Well, maybe next time. Next country. Netherlands, Mia Nicolai and Dion Cooper, Burning Daylight. One of my favorite songs of 2023. Honestly, I love it in studio version. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's crazy, it has a perfect lyrics. I really like that they speak about a god as a woman. I'm not feminist. No, I am, but not the modern, you know, this bullshit. My opinion, write me in the comments below if you don't like it. But yes, I'm honest in this. I like the way how the lyrics were put. It was very tense, very intimate. It really struck my heart. I was thinking about it so many times. I loved it, but the live performance I was afraid of. But I was very surprised what I saw at Eurovision stage. First of all, the staging, in my opinion, one of the best staging, how they use the depth possibilities of this stage, which weren't just good for such things, for narrating the songs. More, just they didn't like it. Anyway, this staging shown that when you are creative, when you put your singers outside into the circle and you let the whole depth to talk, and also you move the panel so it's a bit shuddered, so it doesn't look flat at all. It works visually. The camera work in here was very nice. Most of the time it was intimate, but sometimes overacted. And that was one of my problems, that it was overacted. At some point I couldn't find a connection between those two singers. It just non-existent there, in my opinion, or it's not sold well. So if I just talk technically, fabulous work. If I just work what it should be focused at, or what focus should I get, it didn't work. At this point, I didn't believe that what they sing to themselves. They sing it to everyone. But in my opinion, duet, it's about those two people more likely than singing to audience. If it's not unlike Austria, which is completely different story, but this intimate duet, which you feel like it can be about more like love between two people, or about some of their inner world which they need to talk with, I didn't have it. It was like two people are singing and performing disconnected, and also by the vocal qualities it wasn't the best. At some points I wasn't sure if some of those parts are really not sung a lot by back vocals and then by the main singers. It was that disconnecting me. That's, I think, the reason why it didn't reach the finals and end up how it ended up. Maybe if there are juries, few more points, but even I'm not sure they would save them. Even the song itself deserved a bit better. No one did anything really wrong, but also I think for the top level something was missing at everywhere a bit, and that's just not enough for the finals. And I was surprised because I think the song really reached a really good numbers before Eurovision. But only what I'm also not sure if the people who are voting in semifinals are not mostly Eurovision fans, and this song was killed by them before the show started. Maybe one of the reasons. Maybe one of the reasons also to think to take juries back. Not up to me. Just just a question. Next country. Ireland. We Are One, Wild Youth. It wasn't really wild. I think Ireland is kind of cursed on choosing the artists, choosing the songs, and also doing stagings. I think it's a combination of things which just doesn't really click together somehow. I didn't follow Ireland selection this year, so I don't know if they had better options or not. But what I must say that song-wise, this song, We Are One, it's good, professionally done, but also it's very, very, very simplistic, and it plays the note, which is so big cliche for Eurovision that I think people had kind of enough that we are one, everybody is connected, love is for everyone. It can work sometimes, but I think we are over it. I think we are over with a bit about this topic. And also, if you have such thing like this, it must be just done perfectly, which wasn't this case in my opinion. First of all, it was very visible, or maybe I'm wrong, but what I saw that the singer was very nervous from the very, very beginning, and I saw it on the face. But if you have such song, such mood, such dress, it must be ultra confident from the very beginning, and then this is the only way how you can sell it, that you just want to see this artist once more. You just want to see this energy once more, but it wasn't there. So that was one of the biggest issues of the song. Also, the vocal qualities, a bit questionable, but the staging also didn't make sense. The dresses, everybody was dressing a bit different. It didn't have a concept, kind of, in my opinion. It didn't stick together. It was like a concert for a hall, which doesn't really work concert-wise. It wasn't like people really singing with Wild Youth, with Ireland. It wasn't. You didn't see like people are jumping. You didn't see when you have the concert wild atmosphere of shooting, which nothing wrong about it, but you must sell much more audience with it. That you feel that everybody's enjoying the moment. Everybody is really the one. But it wasn't there. It was completely absent. It was completely absent. That, in connection with all what I mentioned before, was a deadly cocktail, deadly combination for Ireland, again, not to come to finals. Hopefully next year, I think they can go on the right track, but I think if they will be failing to compete properly, they will be suffering from it. Especially because the competition is so high and those countries don't sleep also, and everybody wants to be successful, or most of the countries. Yes. So maybe next time. Let's see, let's hope. Wish you all the luck. Last country. Alright, and the last country is Greece. Viktor Vernikos, What They Say. One of my favorite songs from the studio versions. I like the music video, I like Viktor. Also, I heard so many bad stories about how it happened again in Greece. Big drama, big story, big problems, whatsoever. Well, it's Greek problem. If they are doing things like this, well, they're risking unsuccess, I would say. And I think putting Viktor on the big stage wasn't a really, really good decision, because he is visibly not yet there to perform at such big stage, and he was nervous through all the performance very visibly, and whose ideas was to give him a choreography. It was it wasn't a really, really good idea at all, because it was absolute cringe, nervous performer, needed to dance and move and do these things which didn't really fit him. Especially, it didn't fit him. It wasn't him, in my opinion. It didn't fit the song. In my opinion, they should keep it as simple as possible, especially when they saw that he is not on this level yet, to make him feel much more comfortable. But he had to do so many things on stage, so many movements, so many camera angles, so many choreography details. It just didn't fit anything, and it killed the whole song. It killed the whole result, because staging wise, if I just say what was in LEDs, how it was shot, how it was done by cameras, the staging itself, it was very, very, but very, very good. They played with the upset the distance, deepness of this stage. They really find tricks how to play with your head that it doesn't feel flat. From professional point of view, this was one of the best works. But if I see the work with the artist and see the artist performance, even with a good song, whatever song would end up the same. And well, maybe next time a wiser choosing, let's say. I think everybody has time for Eurovision. It doesn't need to be pushed so soon. It's not a present. It shouldn't be a present, because what it will give to the guy who sang, what experience it is. I would rather have successful experience or unsuccessful, but in the way when I watch it I would say like, yes, I did my maximum, the best, but you must be at certain point, at certain level of performing to go in front of so many people in the arena, because this is huge for most of the artists, and also to have the pressure on yourself that the whole country is watching you and also whole other countries are watching you. Well, but it's probably not the problem of the artist, right? Well, Greece, maybe next time, because you have a lot to offer. Lots to offer. Yeah. Summary. So, just to have a conclusion, we had 5 completely different stories, which also it's very nice to see some very positive sides of those stories. It's not just a bad thing, and also I think most of the problems are not at Eurovision itself, but before are the decisions made, the decisions of how to approach Eurovision itself, because I think that burned most of those countries. Maybe Netherlands are a bit of a difference, but the rest I think suffered exactly from those decisions. Who will be representing? How will we approach it? What we want from Eurovision? What we want from Eurovision? I think this is lack of kind of vision in the approach, which kind of mirrors then into such results. Sometimes it can be bad luck. We know that the jury is not voting, so it must be maybe more centralized, or more, if you want to be successful, it must be super great or something very popular, very modern, very fresh, but also at some point authentic or different. It doesn't mean it needs to be crazy, but it needs to be something very specific. But then on stage it must be something you will remember, and definitely from artist's point of view, it must be with the artists who are super sure on stage, who are selling the atmosphere, who you want to watch, you want to have again, you want to see them, who delivers you the atmosphere, who delivers you the energy, who delivers you all the power, the big artist. Because even if you don't have a perfect song and you have some, let's say, average, and you have perfect artist, this artist will sell you the finals, because this is how this charisma works. This is how it's very important to approach music, because sometimes not the perfect singers are the best or the guys with the best music, but with a huge charisma, something which attracts people. And this is also very important to search in your country. It's very important to find it out, to dig it out, and also to motivate such people to use Eurovision as a platform to perform. I said it quite nice, right? Yeah, I'm a bit proud of myself. It was kind of smooth, this shooting. I really enjoyed, and I really hope that you enjoyed it too, and that you consider subscribing to the channel, giving thumbs up to this video, and also writing comments below why do you think those countries didn't succeed, because maybe you have a bit different opinions, or maybe you like my opinions and maybe you want to discuss. In the comments below, it's your chance to do it with me, with yourself, with the others. With yourself, what I just said. Well, it's time for me to end this video. I never know how to do it, so I just do it fast. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, night. I'm really terrible in saying goodbye. Bye.